Hi there guys, welcome back to the Red and Blue Site YouTube channel. Harvey here. Quick Palace preview for the Sunday early kickoff, 1 o'clock at Selhurst Park, of course. Palace playing Manchester City. Massive game, and it has been a massive game. The couple of occasions we played them recently. Want to start things off. Sorry if there's a bit of an echo. I'm filming this at work. I've got a bit of a break, so I thought I'd film the preview. I want to get it out today before match day, of course. So sorry about the echo. And also, secondly, unfortunately, there won't be a vlog for this because I will be working all day tomorrow. I'm gutted. I tried to get out of it, but there's nothing I could do. So it's a shame, but hey ho. It happens. It's happened recently, so I apologise for no vlog for tomorrow in advance, but I will be definitely at the remaining games for the season. But anyway, let's get into it. This game, over the last few games in particular, the draw at Selhurst Park last season, which was an unbelievable, but an end to City's winning streak that year, really stunted, was the catalyst for the stunt they had in January, I think. Obviously went on to win the league with 100 points, so it didn't really affect them that much, but playing the champions now, and especially after our win at the Etihad earlier in the season, unbelievable goal of the season strike from Townsend, just an incredible evening for everyone associated to Palace, really. I think those two games leading into this has made it a much bigger game than it usually is, especially for Manchester City. I think when you look at the Spurs game, the way Pep rested Son and De Bruyne in particular, started Delph at left wing back, decisions like that make you think, okay, is he focusing a bit more on the Palace game, knowing how important it is in terms of the title race and the fact that we're the only team to have beaten them the Etihad this season. We've got a good record recently against City, and I think backing that up would be a point made in the Manchester City documentary on Amazon last season when Palace played Manchester City. Pep made it very clear that Wilfried Zaha's class. You know, and even a week before, when just after they won, he's like, right, we've got to prepare for Palace, because he kind of knew the threats that we could pose. So I think that's telling in his decision not to start some of his first team players in the Champions League. I'm not going to big myself up or big Palace up to that sort of level, but it is interesting. I don't know if there's a possible link there. Comment below if you think there is a link, because I definitely do. But obviously, to keep ahead of Liverpool, they've got to win this, so that obviously plays into our hands a little bit. It means we can play our game. In terms of the lineup, I'll do the lineup before I get into how I think the game will go. I think that it will be full strength, of course. I don't think we've got any injury news, as I'm not aware of any injury news at the moment. So if I'm wrong there, please comment below. But Guaita, Wan-Bissaka, I think Sakho probably is the only one that's out. But Guaita, Wan-Bissaka, Tompkins, I'd stick with Kelly. Obviously very loyal servant to the club at the moment. He does a fantastic job, very reliable when he comes in for Sakho. I put him in there just for that defensive, just a bit more solid than Scott Dan has been at the moment. Van Arnold left back. Van Arnold and Wan-Bissaka are going to be crucial if we get anything out of this game. I want to start off by saying that I don't think we will get anything, but if we do, it will be very, very much dependent on the wing backs for us. Midfield, I'd have a three of Chiarte, Luca and probably MacArthur. I think that was the same midfield three that started at the Etihad. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would stick with that midfield three for this game. Much more defensive minded, but obviously if players like MacArthur, who's a box-to-box, can link up the play quite well. And then front three of Michy, Zaha and Starman on the right, Andros Townsend. So that would be my lineup. Full strength apart from Sakho, really. In terms of the game, as I said, I don't think we will win. I don't think we'll get anything. I do expect City to get something, but we know what we can do at Selhurst Park. We know how much of the atmosphere can affect City on a big game. When you look at Liverpool, for example, again, not trying to say that Selhurst Park compares to a Champions League night at Anfield, but it's not far off where we get rocking, that is. So I think we'll be up for it, although it's an early kickoff on a Sunday, which everyone hates, and it is a disgusting kick-off time. I think that the Palace fans will do everything we can to get up for it, and we know the record we have, we know how important City regard this game, so we got to go and look to, you know, make things difficult for them and try not to roll over and let them roll over us. So I expect us to be exactly how we were at the Etihad, very deep, very boring, make it as boring as possible and frustrating for Manchester City. Sitting quite compact, but also making sure as soon as it goes out wide, we've got someone on them. That was what we were so class at the Etihad. Wan-Bissaka, especially, probably game of the season for me, getting out to Sane so quickly and stopped any crosses, any chance of Sane or Sterling or Bernardo Silva on the other side going round the outside. Wan-Bissaka and Van Arnold made sure they were really tight, forced them inside, excuse me, forced them inside, and then the midfield and defence were brilliant in dealing with it from there. So really frustrating. City is so dependent on the wide play. You see their wide players hug the touchline a lot. So cut out the wide men as best you can, and that's a big step, I feel, in going on to get something against City. And the best way, you know, really good example was just last week in the Champions League away at Spurs. I know it was Spurs at a new stadium, first Champions League night there, and the occasion was massive for Spurs, but you look at how they played, it was fantastic. Sterling hardly had a touch of the ball. When he did have a touch of the ball, you saw how influential he was, but the way they cut out the ball to get to the wingers was very good from Spurs, and that was massive in terms of the result. It really stunted City's progress in that game, so we've got to try our best to do the same. Zaha and Townsend have been brilliant at tracking back and helping the defence this season, so they've got to be doing that as well. I mentioned as well in Boovy's preview for this game, I did feature on his channel, so be sure to subscribe to his channel and look at that video if you haven't already. But I did mention in that we've got to have at least 6 or 7 players that have their games of the season for us to have a chance, I think, to get anything out of this. Even if we do that, City have just got that much quality that they can still easily win a game. So for me, I'm predicting a 2-1 City win. I'm going to predict a loss because hopefully then that sets up a an outside result. But yeah, I think that covers the points I wanted to make on it. Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts as always, guys. Again, apologies if there's an echo on this video. Quality's not as good as usual. Not that the quality's much better back at home, but be sure to like, share, subscribe, comments below. I always read the comments and try to respond to as many as I can. If you like the channel, if you're liking how the videos are going, obviously hit the subscribe button as well. Hit the link down below as well, classicshirts.com, if you want to get yourself a retro shirt. And yeah, guys, I'll see you, obviously unfortunately not on Sunday, but I'll see you next week. I'll do a review of the game as well. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Fingers crossed we can make a massive impact yet again for another season in the title race, and extend our incredible run at the moment of 2 unbeaten games in the league against Manchester City. So fingers crossed. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next time.